Hey guys, today I will be making the main script of the Behind the Beak short film that Vincent is making. Keep in mind unlike the original creepypasta, there'll be some parts that are cut out and some new parts. And also Vincent, feel free to cut some parts out if it's too long. So anyway, get ready. 3, 2, 1. It starts off with a camera zooming in to a TV with static on it. And then it cuts to some sort of weird episode of Sesame Street. You see a foot that looks like Big Bird, and then it starts walking. Then you realize Big Bird is much dirtier than usual, and he has a big smile on his face. The streets of Sesame Street look very different. All the buildings look all destroyed and all broken. And the sky has a greenish cloudy tint to it, with the sun having like a bright orange glow. It zooms into like Big Bird's face. And he says this. Where are all the people? People. I am the people. Big Bird then says this. Can I show you something for a minute? Then the camera cuts to black. The camera moves like an eye opening of a child. Then reality Big Bird shows up, and he utters the words, surprise. And then he walks up to the camera angrily and yells this, eat me! Eat me! The camera starts to run, and then you see like reality Big Bird following you. He starts yelling and screeching and making unhuman noises. Then balloons come out of his mouth that explode acid and dissolve everything around it. Manage to outrun him. But then you see a few trash cans. One of the trash cans opens and to reveal a very gross homeless man to be revealed to be reality Oscar. He says this, what the hell do you want? He grabs the beer that he was drinking and smashes it into the ground. Do you want me to teach you a damn word? He says. I'll teach you a damn word. Death. He starts laughing, and then another trash can opens to reveal a long-necked creature that looks to be Oscar. It roars, and it tries to grab you, but he managed to outrun it. Reality Oscar responds and says this, after him! Everything goes black until you hear this. 1, 2, 3. Reality Count Von Count appears and bites into your thigh. You try fighting him off by punching him, but like vampire bats swarm you. You manage to outrun the vampire bats and end up into like an apartment that has a wide ass door open. Inside the apartment, everything's normal until you see a red midget that looks like his fur is stained in blood. Why did I say fur? Because this kid has Wolfman syndrome. It's revealed to be reality Elmo, and he starts laughing in the corner like a madman. Everything in the apartment starts to come alive and starts growing faces. All the things start to moan. And then reality Elmo stops laughing. and looks at you. He points to the window and says this. Look over there. You look, and you see a creature that looks like Cookie Monster. His name is Hunter Cookie Monster. And he opens his mouth, revealing another face. He walks backwards for a minute, and then starts running forward, almost breaking the window. He starts doing this a couple of times, and then he starts running away before he manages to break the whole wall. You run up the stairs, and you find a door, and you enter it, and you see a fat, naked, obese man shoving cookies down his throat. His name is Reality Cookie Monster, and he has a rash that is located where he is stuck to the wall because he hasn't moved in years. He says, "Feed me." He starts getting cookies and shoving them down his throat. And then when he's done with the cookies, he says, "Feed me more." He looks to his left to find raw cookie dough. He grabs a handful and starts shoving them down his mouth until there's nothing. He cuts down his stomach, and you see guts and all half digested cookies spill out of his torso and stuff, and he starts eating himself until he's nothing but a blue mass of hovering flesh. Then these little demonic physiques come out of the wall with no physical form at all, taking pieces of his flesh away until there's nothing but a skeleton. The skeleton stands up. You don't know if it's an animation or a cartoon or even real. It walks up to the balcony of the apartment and starts bobbing up and down, leading you to it. He pushes you, and you fall several stories down. The camera goes black, but then it fades back. You look in the window that looks like another apartment, and you see Reality Bert choking Reality Ernie. Reality Bert is yelling at Reality Ernie, saying something like this: "You are nothing. No one likes you and no one cares about you. You will rot in the deepest pits of hell." He looks at the camera and he growls, and he closes the curtains. You hear stomping, very fast-paced stomping. You look and see Reality Snuffleupagus coming towards you. He lets out a loud trumpet sound, and he stomps on your brains. The brains spew out spaghetti that looked like it was on Reality Oscar. And it starts to move. Spaghetti doesn't move. You start limping and walking, trying to find an exit until you finally do. You see Grover as his puppet self by the sign that says Sesame Street that looks like it has been worn down. Grover looks at you and says this: "It's okay. We all had that dream." He gets pills and pops it into his mouth. He starts fake chewing it. Some of the pills dropping on the floor, not even hitting his mouth. He says this. He stops for a moment. He looks very scared. It feels like someone's touching me. He says this. "Someone is inside me." He starts screeching, and he starts dissolving until you see a very pale hand that was once Grover. Something comes out of the ground, and it is Reality Oscar. No, Reality Grover. I meant sorry. Don't get it's Reality Grover. But anyway, Into the camera and says this. It was me all along. He starts hobnobbing towards you. And then like he gets his hand and tries to grab you until you hear like a loud gunshot. Someone shot him through the head. You see what looks like to be a like hybrid between a man and a frog with a gun. He says this. This is what everyone gets for killing my wife. And then he shoots the corpse of Reality Grover a couple more times and he looks at you. You think this is funny? He looks very angry and starts walking up to you. He grabs you with his two hands and then he says this. I'll show you funny. He opens his mouth and he devours you. Everything turns white. And then a black void opens. These skinless beings with static for organs start walking up to you. They all seem to be screaming. One of them faces you in the front. And like you'll see his like flesh pulsing and blood coming everywhere. You close your eyes and then you hear a voice that says this. It's okay. You open your eyes and you look behind you to see Smilebird looking at you. See, this is the real Sesame Street, he says. All the trash and garbage and you are the bacteria. But just remember, wherever you go, wherever you stand, wherever you sleep, I'll be watching you through the window. His eyes turn red with yellow pupils, and his teeth become very sharp. He bites deep into your neck until you're half decapitated, with like your neck spewing blood. It turns into third person, showing that you were a human with a TV for a head. The TV starts, your head starts bubbling static. Before the tape ends, you hear this. 1, 2, 3. And another gunshot appears, shooting the TV through the head. Well, that was it. So yeah, like I said, Vincent, feel free to like cut some parts out and stuff. And also, you should host a challenge for people to voice these characters. I don't want to voice any because I want to see people voice the characters, other people. But yeah, just remember the lines that I said for the characters, Vincent. And yeah, so bye.